It's inevitable. One day time travel will exist. So, when I go back to repeat college, this will act as the perfect online resource so I can be ready. Also, I guess, if you're going into college now, this might be a little bit helpful. Before this video actually starts and I get into the meat of it, I feel like I should, lay out my credentials, so you can see if you should trust me or not. My name is Gauruv. Yep, that's the first part of it. And I'm about to go into my 3rd year of undergraduate at UC Davis with a major in electrical engineering. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's all I got. So, here's my Instagram, too. Yeah, okay. I hope you trust me by now. The first thing I wish I knew when I went into college is that for the first week or 2 of classes, you won't really know what you're supposed to know. What I mean by that is that you'll go into a class, have some lectures, and then midterms come up in a couple weeks and you're not sure what's going to be on them. Because at the beginning of a class, the expectations aren't very clear. Like, you're going to lecture and you're leaving lecture and you don't understand what you're supposed to get out of them. So the trick is not to let that unknown be unknown for so long. Sometimes I would wait until my first midterm to really understand what I needed to know, which, with classes only having 2 midterms, that's a little late. So what you have to do is find out your class's expectations. What does your professor expect out of you, and what does the class expect out of you? There are a couple ways to do this. You can talk to people that have had the professor before, or the more commonly known method, rate my professor. But rate my professor tells you more than you pretty much need to know. Well, you can never know enough. But on Rate My Professor, you can kind of get a feel for a professor's teaching style. Like, when you're enrolling in a class, you don't really know if there's quizzes or not. But if you read Rate My Professor, sometimes you'll find out how the class is graded. So, that's pretty neat. So yes, when you first go into a class, you're not really going to know what they expect out of you. So, use online resources and in-person resources to get a feel for the class and get your expectations set. The second thing I wish I knew before I went to college is how bad my snacking was gonna be. You know the freshman 20. I'm sure you're familiar with the phenomenon. And I'm sure you know the saying, shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you're gonna land among the stars. Well, I missed, and I hit another goddamn galaxy. I gained, I think, like 22 pounds my freshman year. Now, as you can see, slim ol' me. Okay, we're gonna shut that down just right quick. I'm sorry about that. But in the past year, I've actually lost all 22 of those pounds, and then some. And there's only one trick to it. I know I sound like one of those weird ads you get on weird websites, but trust me, this one's true. Just enter your credit card information, and then you'll be on your way. No, but seriously, the one tip you need is that you just need to snack responsibly. I'm not a madman. I'm not telling you to, just not snack. That's okay. Let's not, get ahead of ourselves. Still snack, but do it with the right thing. Freshman year Gauruv was a big, chips, Hostess, donut guy. Yeah, it was pretty rough. And if you're a longtime viewer of mine, you would know that I was eating Domino's quite frequently, like 1 to 2 times a week. So what changed? What made me lose 20 pounds in 1 year? God, I sound like a really bad, infomercial. Instead of eating those chips and cakes, I would just eat fruit. That's pretty much it. When you get that urge to snack, just eat an apple, or a pear, or a banana, or any other fruit. You see where I was going with that one? Also, don't always eat at the dining common. Try to make stuff on your own. And that's another thing I was doing. I was eating purely on my own. I wasn't going to the dining common. Well, I was there a couple times, I had to revisit an old flame. Let's not talk about it. But for 95% of my meals, I was eating at home in my apartment. And those couple changes were all I needed to do to maintain my weight and get it back down. So to review, the 2 things you need to do are, when you want to snack, eat fruit, and limit how much you eat in the DC. And if you follow those 2 simple steps, you'll look lean and mean like me, a machine. I'm sorry about that. The third thing I wish I knew before I went into college is that the calc room is a fantastic resource. I feel like every Davis informational video has to mention the calc room at least once, so I'm paying my dues. The calc room is great because they just take your problem and they will explain it to you on a board, and it will be 100% correct. The TAs in that room are so great and super knowledgeable. I tell you what, literally I've never had a problem that they couldn't solve. Also, your classmates will be in that room too, so it'll be easy to link up, form study groups, and then study together on the same material. It's great. It's like an all-in-one burrito. And the burrito is the calc room. Bad analogy. I know. Okay, don't tell me. The fourth thing I wish I knew before I went into college is that you'll never be the dumbest in a room. Well, let's not say dumbest, because that hits way too close to home. Let's say you'll never be the most lost in a room. I don't know about other majors, but engineering majors do a great job at acting like they know exactly what they're doing, but we all know that we're all lost. So never feel like everyone's doing better than you, because I can assure you, they're not. That guy that turned in his test 20 minutes early, he didn't know what he was doing. He failed. Okay, maybe he did know what he was doing. I don't want to call that guy out. Maybe he knows what he's doing, okay? But I've been there. I've been taking a test. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get the lowest grade in this entire class. But then I see the results and I'm like, oh wow, the lowest grade was a 12%. Now my 70 doesn't look that bad. So yes, not everyone knows what they're doing, even if they appear like they do. We're all just really good actors. The fifth thing I wish I knew before I went into college is that everyone is in your position. No one knows anyone, no one knows who you are, so don't feel embarrassed about doing anything. Okay, yes, that is true, within reason. You shouldn't feel embarrassed about doing normal things, like, you know, going out to public events, raising your hand in class, introducing yourself to someone. Those are normal things to not feel embarrassed about doing. You should feel embarrassed, however, if you do something ridiculous, like, steal a cow. If you're going over there, stealing a cow, you should feel embarrassed, and I wouldn't do that. Riding a bike naked, that's not good either. And I'm not even saying you shouldn't do that for other people's sake. I'm saying for you. When you ride a bike naked, I've heard, all that wind that's usually hitting you hits you even harder because, you know, you're nude. So when I say you shouldn't feel embarrassed about doing anything, you know, just know there's an asterisk attached to that. So don't steal a cow and don't ride a bike naked. Do something more, you know, tame, like this innocent example right here. If you want to wear some clothes, no one will judge you, and everyone is just waiting for you to say hi. So the first couple weeks of school when you're in your classes, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people around you. Everyone is just waiting for someone to say something. So be the someone that says something. The sixth thing I wish I knew before I came to college is that you shouldn't feel bad about changing your major. I didn't think I was going to change my major when I came to college, but I did. I was a computer engineering major and I switched to electrical engineering. When I turned in the paperwork to do that change, I thought the world was ending. Obviously, it wasn't. And you have to remind yourself that college is just there so you can set yourself up to have a successful career. And if a silly little major change is the only thing getting in the way of your successful career, then just do it. Because you have to think of the long term. Don't think about what your relatives or your friends or your classmates are gonna think. Just think about what's in your best interest and go forward with that. The seventh and final thing that I wish I knew before going to college is that you should savor every moment because it's going to go by so fast. I know, I sound like your mom before she gives you just that death hug before she leaves you in your apartment by yourself, but it's true. I remember the day before my last final of my freshman year, I was talking to my friend Victoria, and she asked me, she was like, Gauruv, what is the biggest memory? What's like the special memory you can take away from freshman year? And I didn't really have an answer. I had things that I was happy that happened, like some grades went well, some YouTube stuff went well, but I didn't have like experiences that I could say I could remember. And this just comes down to the fact that I didn't really put myself out there freshman year. So just remember that everyone's in your position and no one knows what they're doing. So go ahead and put yourself out there. Use this video if you have to give yourself permission to go out and try new things and have new experiences. Because ultimately when the school year's over and someone asks you, what's the best part of your year? You're probably not going to say a grade. Actually, you know what? That's just because I didn't have any grades to brag about, so maybe it's a case-by-case thing, you know? No, but seriously, go out and try new things your freshman year. So yes, that was 7 things I wish I knew before I went to college. I hope this video was able to help out if you're going into college, and if it didn't, well, tough luck, I guess. No, I'm kidding, I'm sorry. But in case I didn't cover something or you still have questions left unanswered, in the next 2 weeks sometime, I'm gonna do a Q&A. So, go ahead, follow me on Instagram, here it is, at Gauruv Virk, and sometime in these next 2 weeks, I'm gonna put up on my story a question and be like, hey, if you have any college questions, hit me up. And sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll post that Q&A. So, go ahead, follow me on Instagram, and I'll do a Q&A shortly here. So yes, I hope this video was a little bit informative. But just a little bit, you know. Don't want to get too extreme.